52 hours ago, I decided to start programming a looped pipe network calculator for my suite of engineering calculators. And this is what the result was. It's been amazing. And I've also done other things. But I'd like to step through a little bit of this. I have saved the project, and I will start an empty project. And it says add a backdrop or a reservoir or use draw example network. I'm going to try drawing the example network. And look, you can't see a thing. So, settings, map display and sizes. Let's try the text size might be too big. Well, it looks like it's a tiny little network. So we've got that. This thing is pretty robust and full-featured at this point. I'm just beside myself here. We still don't have symbols, but this is a reservoir with an elevation and a head. The head hasn't really been entered, so it's just a placeholder. We've got a pump with a curve, and then we've got some nodes with elevation and demand, and we've got some vertices for polylines, and I can add another one by double-clicking and drag it, and that changes the length of that pipe because it's automatic. So we have all the things we'd expect in a pipe network model software. Then we've got a demand here of 100 gallons a minute. I can choose under labels all the labels that I view. Let's see, I'm looking at diameter, 8-inch with 0 precision. I can mark the highest and lowest values just to check, make sure I didn't make a data mistake. That is the lowest flow. Blue would be flow. This is the highest pressure, and that's because I don't have a very high demand. I really should try a 400 demand. And what does that do? Well, that puts me in the hole. So let's try a 200 demand. That's maybe all we can handle. It's still too much for this. I think they're 4-inch pipes. No, they say they're 8-inch. Well, crazy. Okay, so that's that. So far we've got a sample network. We've got reservoir pump links and nodes and map labels with precisions, high and low values marked. Let's go from left to right and see. We can set our units to SI or US or individualized units. I can clear the project. I won't do that. I can add a junction. So just add a junction out here. Add another one. It says it can't solve the network because I've got disconnected nodes. So I will say pipe, pick the node, and it gives me a rubber band. Oops, I didn't connect it. All right, node, 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 node. All right, so double click on this one. Let's suppose our map is real. Oh, I'm still in pipe mode, so I've got to go to select mode and double click, and I can drag that vertex out. Double click and drag that vertex out. So now I've got some more things going on. I can change this demand to 0 and change this demand to 100. And then let's keep exploring. Delete, I could delete a node. I can undo that. I can zoom extents. That didn't work perfectly. So I'll have to work on that. We've already looked at labels. We've looked at settings. For our map display and sizes, we can change our relative symbol and text sizes. I can add a piece of text, you know, for a title. Oh, forgot again. Delete. And then select text. And howdy. And I can change its size. So that's nice. So we've done everything. I can also draw a large test network, which is not very fun, but there we go. A big, huge test network. I'm going to clear the project. Now let's see if we can open up my previous project. Look at that, Maricopa Flex. Fingers crossed. Oh my goodness, it did work and it recalculated. And this guy has a background, backdrop added. I did a screenshot. I used add image. I browsed to it. I put it in. And then I used scale. And it says pick 2 points. So I picked there, and then it said how far apart are they? And I said 100. And position, I didn't worry about. It put the backdrop with its upper left corner at 0, 0. I don't know what happened to we used to have coordinates thing. I don't know what happened to that. I'll have to make a note of that. That's it, I think. Gee, it's pretty robust at this time. We're going to add scenarios. I'm going to add some scenarios so that you can have the same project with multiple views. Let's call it views. Oh, there's our coordinates, and the upper right corner of this thing is pretty close to 0, 0. And let's see, is there anything else I need to tell you? I've got a little speech impediment right now. I don't know how to talk with this retainer in. I guess that's all. It's exciting to have this for free use online, and you can develop it yourself by cloning the repository from Bitbucket and go to town with Claude Code and submit a pull request. Oh, and of course it's in 26 languages, or will be. Currently it's only in English because I want to get it settled before we start translating, because as it turns out, translation is really demanding on Claude. Oh, a note about the AI. I've been using mostly Claude Opus. It's July 2026, July 31st, 2026. I've been using mostly Claude Opus with Claude Code on my local PC, and occasionally using Claude Sonnet for simpler tasks. If I use Claude Sonnet on the more difficult things, it'll misunderstand me a lot. I find myself repeating myself a lot, and it ends up Opus costs twice as much, but I almost work twice as much if the tasks are difficult. At least twice, on some things more than twice as much. So I don't think Opus is costing me much more. I think that's all. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and use this calculator and tell your friends.